Sanctuary technology. Oh, wait.
On my challenge, by the ancient laws of combat, we are met at this chosen ground to settle for good and all.
Why are you asking me?
I accept the challenge.
Battle Royale!
Challenge accepted.
No.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Steelers Sanctuary Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Rivero from SteelersSanctuary.com. I got David Cora, Bob Quinn, and Trent King with us today. The gang's all here. Guys, how's it going?
Wonderful.
Good.
Hello.
Let's get right into some Steelers news and notes. Jaire Alexander got released today. I know some buzz that maybe the Steelers should try to sign him, maybe not. I posted it, and our friend Nick Farabaugh kind of pushed back on me saying, where's he going to play? We have Darius Slay and JPJ. There's no place to play him. He's a fucking talented corner when he's on his game and an intriguing guy. I don't think the Steelers are in a position to turn down good corners.
I mean, it would be interesting. And could you maybe bump Slay inside? I mean, that's 3 boundary corners. So I get hey, where would he play thing? But I think you could make that work. And boy, it would really make a really intriguing dime package when you throw Corey Trice out there. If he was your dime corner and it's not an ideal fit, but I think a great defensive coordinator could make it. Oh, wait, it's parallel.
I started giggling as soon as you said it. I'm like, Bob's high. Let's move on.
Yeah. Bob's
Trent,
high.
what do you
I'm crazy because I was right there with you, Bob.
I mean, I get it too. I kind of wonder if Jaire is the one who's hurt constantly. I mean, he's had a ton of trouble staying on the field. He might be better suited for the nickel slot role than any of them. He's not like an overly big guy. He might be able to make that transition inside. It'd be tough maybe to convince him to make that transition. So I don't know. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but like if there's a shot to get him for, a decent price, I would go after him.
I've seen him, like we've all seen him. Like he had some great games against the Vikings and Justin Jefferson, shutting him down. The guy's, I mean, he's a knucklehead too. I mean, he's done some stupid stuff. I guess what did he do? He ran on the field as a team captain at halftime when he wasn't a team captain and just stood there when he wasn't supposed to be out there. And he's done some other.
Maybe there was just a mistake, confusion. Maybe he thought he was.
No, he said it was his hometown and he wanted to be out there.
Oh, well,
for the opening game, and he took it upon himself.
Oh, Jesus.
He fits right into Pittsburgh, and he fits right in to this team. 100%.
Well, now that George Pickens is in Dallas, we do need that element on this team.
See what I'm saying?
He is a little young for a free agent Steelers corner, though. I mean, he's only 28.
Right. He's about 12, 13 years too young for that. But I get it. There's none of them are natural slot corners, and we're going to talk camp battles and the slot corner position, how bad it is right now. But man, that kind of talent, they have cap space. I don't know what he's looking for. He's going to have to take a 1-year deal now.
Contract dispute type of deal that got him cut.
Yeah. They wanted him to take a pay cut, and he wouldn't do it.
Do you think that they could try to bump Slay to slot? Would that be better for him since he's getting older, or that just a non-conversation there? But if we're going to talk about dime package, I mean,
it
makes me wonder.
I don't know.
I was going to say Big Pun is counting on Corey Trice. I think if you're counting on Corey Trice as your 4th cornerback, you're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I was going to say as the 4th, that's fine.
Yeah.
I still don't get the whole Corey Trice ain't good thing. Like, I mean, I thought he played Jamar Chase about as well as anybody else in the league last year. He got torched just like everybody else did.
He played good. He's talented for sure.
Yeah,
it's just, can he stay healthy? That's the only drawback for Corey Trice.
Right.
Can you stay healthy long enough to play?
He had a hell of a game against Kansas City. I mean, he was locked down against Kansas City. His second start.
Yeah, he played well.
I agree.
He's a good player.
It certainly gives you depth. I mean, the Steelers are not in position to say, well, we don't need a really talented guy. But at the same time, it really depends what he costs. But you got to spend some money. If Aaron only signed for 13, you got to spend some money.
He is a bit of a knucklehead, and he might be a distraction, and that might turn the Steelers off completely. I mean, I've seen he said some dumb shit. I mean, he's not like Antonio Brown bad, but he's a goofball. So I don't know how Mike Tomlin's going to feel about, just like you said, they just got rid of George Pickens. They've gotten that off their shoulders. Do they really want another one in the building? It's just for 1 year. Who knows? I'm all for it, though.
So he signed a 4-year, $84 million contract. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, they got like $15 million in dead cap.
And that's a thing that makes you worried. He's a talented guy. They had money in him, and they still cut him. That tells you that they just couldn't stand him anymore, which is scary if you're trying to sign this guy.
I mean, you might be able to sell him on, hey, man, sign 1 year, we'll pay you 10. And
that's all I would
give
do.
You incentives up to 15. And
yeah, I wouldn't give him more than a year. You're taking him on a flyer to make a run, and then you walk away because he's not a long term. Unless he becomes a perfect citizen, then maybe you can reconsider. But I don't see.
Wow.
That.
Yeah. I just came across some other stuff. Suspended what game for conduct detrimental to the team?
Yeah. Last year, yeah.
Yep.
Would he show up an hour late for a Christmas game? Oh, I mean.
He's got some baggage there in Green Bay. They did not love him.
That doesn't even take him out of the starting lineup in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Exactly. I know, right?
There's no suspension here.
Does it impact Joey? I mean, do they think Joey has taken a step forward? Because if you bring in Alexander, there's a real chance it's Alexander and Slay as your 1-2 corner. I wouldn't agree with that. I would want Joey out there. But is it kind of insurance if, whoops, we made a mistake here? As, hey, we still have – I don't think you can have too much talent. I get it. And
me too, a corner.
If this were 15 years ago, no, the Steelers wouldn't touch a guy like this. But I think we've seen over the last 10 years that we have no problem with these kind of players.
I mean, if it was up to me, I'd move Slay. I try to move Slay in a slot and leave JPJ and
that's where I'm
him on the outside. That's Jair Alexander. That's what I would do. But
his actual cap hit is $24.6 million, by the way.
Yeah, well, he's free now because they got cut. So he's not.
Well, I'm saying, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was.
It would have been, yeah.
So just to give you an idea of what he might think he could get.
Well, yeah. But it's late now, though. I don't know. He's going to sign a 1-year deal for like $10 million. That's what he's going to get, I would think, at the most. And then try to make money the following season if he does well.
I've already seen Miami tied to him.
Oh, yeah. Because he's going to trade,
yeah.
What's his name, right, at some point?
That's I was talking to a guy the other day who's a big Dolphins fan, and he's also, we're here in Jacksonville, he's also a Jaguars fan. He was kind of hoping Jalen Ramsey would come home to the Jaguars. I said, I don't know if he would do that. But then he talked about, hey, maybe the Steelers. And, what if you could get Jalen Ramsey for one of our 3/3, wouldn't you have to do it?
I would.
Yeah, a
guy who's always healthy. If you're talking about bringing in Jair Alexander for $10 million, why wouldn't you give a 3rd-round pick for a guy like Jalen Ramsey?
Again,
he's still playing at a high level,
especially when you have 4 3rd-round picks. So, yeah.
But do you want to save that 3rd-round pick for a wide receiver? And just you're taking Jair Alexander because he's a free agent.
I don't think you need a 3rd to get Allen Lazard.
True.
You don't need a 3rd to get Allen Lazard.
They better not trade a fucking 3rd for Lazard.
Here we go. You're joking, but it's going to happen.
I thought you were
joking, but it's going to happen.
I was like, wait, what?
Not for a 3rd, but he's coming. Speaking of wide receivers, oh God, you got something else, Bob, on now?
I was going to say, if you told me I give a 3rd for Jalen Ramsey and a 5th for Allen Lazard, if Jalen Ramsey's the lead in that package, I kind of would rather have that than a 3rd wide receiver and Jair Alexander. A 3rd-round pick for a wide receiver and Jair Alexander is what it is.
Oh, it depends on what the wide receiver is, because Jair Alexander has got you on the right foot, and
Jalen Ramsey's a couple years older. He meets the 30-year-old test. But, I mean, let's face it. Jalen Ramsey, he may not be the elite corner he was 2 years ago, but he's still...
He'd be the best corner on this team day one.
He'd be the best corner probably in the AFC North, to be honest with you.
I'm trying to think of the corners.
Him or maybe Marlon Humphrey. He's probably better than Marlon Humphrey at this stage.
I think he is.
Yeah,
the kid from Cleveland's really good.
Denzel Ward.
Denzel Ward.
Ward. I think he'd still be the best one at this point in his career.
Yeah, I would still take Ramsey over him. Ward is, if you play Madden, Ward is great. He's good on the field. I think Ramsey's probably the more accomplished player. I mean, Denzel Ward is younger, so I mean, I guess you could go by that status too.
Speaking of wide receivers, the Steelers were apparently in on Godwin for a little while before the market got away from him. I guess the Patriots offered $30 million a season for Godwin.
That was the report, yeah.
He took 22 or 23 from the. How old is he? He's in his 30s too, right? He's
29, I think.
Is he 29?
Yeah, I thought I saw 29 when I was reading the article.
That would have been something. Godwin would have been something opposite DK Metcalf. Oh, maybe it was either or.
Well, one thing to remember about Godwin, he's coming off a major injury.
Yep.
I think I'm frozen.
He is. You are.
There I am. So Chris Godwin, major injury, and I don't think he was ever leaving Tampa Bay. If the reports are true that they offered $30 million to go play with Drake May, he took $8 million left to play with Baker Mayfield. Maybe it's, hey, I've got some cred with the organization, so if I struggle, they're not going to cut me 6 games into the season.
The Steeler Nation article claims that the wife had an impact on that she didn't want to leave.
Something was keeping him in Tampa. I mean, because the money.
State of Florida also doesn't have that
that's true.
State income tax either. So that $8 million was probably ate up right by the state income taxes alone.
Yeah, when you're comparing New England to at least New England's quarterback's pretty good. He's young though. Tampa's got a much better chance of winning this year. Godwin at 29.
Yeah,
the Patriots do. So I guess, and the Steelers, I don't know where they fit in. I guess when the money got too crazy, they must have just pulled out because they were saving it for Uncle Aaron, I guess.
I don't see them doing $30 million a year. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's a little much for him. That's rich for me. If it was a choice between him and DK, I'd take DK all day.
Yeah,
and let's be honest. I was just saying, let's be honest. Like, this wasn't Godwin's first major injury. He's missed plenty of times before. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, I like the player. I get it. And if you in fantasy, of course you love a guy like that. He's had 3 really good years till he got hurt this year. But I mean, 30 coming off a major injury, it's like I don't get it. I didn't think we were ever in on him at a high price. And unfortunately, the going rate for any wide receiver now is 30-35 million. So, if you want a number 2, who's not named Alan Lazard, then
you keep bringing up that name. It's like Beetlejuice. Is just going to show up tomorrow now because you said it so many times.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if he doesn't show up now that Aaron's in camp.
I think I tend to agree with you. I'd be shocked too if he doesn't end up a Steeler at this point. Wide receiver 2, buddy. He goes right to the top of the list. Do you guys give any credence to the report that Aaron Rodgers was the 3rd option for the Steelers? I guess it's Pro Football Talks that's been kind of floating. They said Justin Fields, Stafford was the Steelers' 2nd choice, and then Aaron Rodgers was that 3rd choice. I don't get the Matthew Stafford stuff. I don't think he was ever coming here. I think that was a pipe dream. He was never leaving LA.
I think they probably seriously offered him a trade. I don't think that's. But
yeah,
I think they
go ahead.
I think they got the wrong person was the number 2 option. I think it was Darnold. Wasn't there reports that Darnold was who they were going after the Fields thing went south?
Zach's the one that told us that Darnold.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Zach that they wanted Darnold, but they wouldn't give him the promise of 2 years as the starter.
We had heard that there was some interest in Stafford though at the time when they were kind of floating him around.
Yeah,
the Stafford thing was. I mean, the team, of course, if the team could have gotten Stafford, they would have gotten Stafford, but it never made sense from the Rams' perspective. Like a guy who's playing at that level, took a team that probably shouldn't have been in the playoffs and brought them into the playoffs. Like, why would you even think about getting rid of Stafford? You didn't have a backup plan there. Like, I thought that was more like what Dave's saying. That was a pipe dream. That was not a realistic option two. But I do think Justin Fields was their first option. I don't think they thought his market was going to be what it was.
Yeah, they totally misconstrued the market for him. They were caught. And if you texted us about the Albert Breer article, if you haven't read that about the whole Aaron Rodgers thing and how that transpired, according to Breer, they were already negotiating with Rodgers around the time that Fields signed with the Jets. So they were already kind of at least hedging.
Really?
Fields. Yep.
You know, I totally believe Matt Stafford was option one because there was talk and there was contract and there was static with the wife. There was a little period where it looked like the Rams might actually move him and just say, forget it. And if the Steelers were one of the teams who called up and said, hey, we'll give something up, he's 5 years younger than Aaron. You know, he's got a cannon for an arm. Not the most mobile guy, but neither is Aaron going to be at 41.
He's kind of fragile, though, too. He gets injured a lot. Matthew Stafford, right? He gets injured a lot.
He gets injured, but he's durable, though.
He plays.
Yeah.
Wait, Bob, do you think Stafford was the number one choice? Did I?
Yeah.
Over Fields? Really?
Yes. I mean, let's face it. If you get Matthew Stafford, I mean, he's on the downward, but he's not as far down the hill as Aaron. And I mean, as far as arm talent goes, the only guy you could really make the argument has the arm talent of Aaron Rodgers over the last decade is really Matthew Stafford.
I like Matthew Stafford a lot.
I'm
just think he fits in here.
Yeah, the timeline, I could have sworn that like the Stafford stuff didn't happen until after the fact that Fields was gone. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, Breer also said in the article they sat down and they mapped out like 6 or 7 names. Stafford, Rodgers, Justin Fields, Cousins. They said they were going to check in on all of them. And they pretty much did.
Thank God, no Cousins. Look,
yeah.
if you're unhappy,
if
you're unhappy with the Aaron Rodgers signing, just remember it prevented us from making the monumental mistake of trading for Kirk Cousins.
I'm with Bob. I am 110% with Bob. Okay.
See, I'm the only one that wouldn't have minded Cousins. I'd rather have Rodgers 100 times out of 100.
Over Cousins.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
But I'd rather have Cousins 100 times over 100 over anybody else on the roster right now.
If we had done our picks with Cousins versus Mason, I would have had your 5-12 with Cousins.
I wonder where Cousins goes now that the Steelers are out of the mix. That's about it. Unless he wants to go to
wait for somebody to get hurt.
Something?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Maybe Canada.
Come on.
Damn, Bob.
Slandering
Look,
Kirk Cousins.
That guy's made so much money. Where he should go is retirement.
Right.
I mean,
probably should coming off that bad injury. He probably should have just hung it up after that.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, somebody could take but who needs a quarterback at this point?
New Orleans, I think.
Other than the Giants.
Pain in my ass, Bob.
Shots at everybody.
So, as we stand right now, without Alan Lazard, there's still a Kyle Pitts thing. I don't think we've talked about did we talk about the Kyle Pitts rumors?
We didn't talk about the Kyle Pitts thing.
Are they trying to get a tight end / wide receiver to play outside with DK? Is this the strategy they're going with? And let one of the little midgets play slot?
Like one of the little
Roman Wilson or CA3?
Hey, that's the Lollipop Guild to you, buddy.
Is that their idea? Like super blocker, half tight end, half wide receiver? Is this a strategy? I have a feeling it is.
If you remember in camp last year, there was a lot of chatter coming out about how they were trying to use Pat Freiermuth as a move tight end, kind of like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Kyle Pitts was that coming out of Florida. I don't know what the hell he's been doing in the NFL because it's not ever materialized. But
literally nothing. Nothing.
I mean, I'm talking using either Pitts or Jonnu Smith out wide. Like, are they just looking for a big wide receiver to play that position?
Now, I don't think Jonnu Smith is that guy. Although I agree they would try to make him that guy.
That's what I'm talking about.
Kyle Pitts could be that guy. He's not as fast as he was before the injury, but he's still. And maybe Aaron Rodgers finally unlocks Kyle Pitts. But I just got to say this. If I'm Kyle Pitts and his agent and I hear that the Steelers want me and I get to go back to the Arthur Smith offense, I maybe retire. I mean, that's like a big FU. Falcons go to him and say, hey, buddy, we traded you. Where are you going? You're going to play with a Hall of Fame quarterback. Oh, man, that's awesome. Where am I going? Pittsburgh. Oh,
yeah, but Arthur Smith with Aaron Rodgers versus Arthur Smith with, whoever that abomination he had in Atlanta at quarterback. And then even last year with Justin Fields and whatchamacallit, this is a different offense. This is going to be different. So, and I'm assuming you guys didn't read the article by Albert Breer. He waxes, on how flexible Arthur Smith is, and he had all kinds of offenses ready for whichever quarterback came in, and this is going to be seamless. And he's been working with Aaron Rodgers apparently for a couple of weeks now, developing the offense around him. We'll see.
Dude, you need Jesus Christ to be the freaking offensive coordinator to figure this out with Kyle Pitts. Like, I haven't seen nothing with that guy. All that hype, and it hasn't been shit. Every once in a blue moon, he'll have a good game.
Well, his rookie year, remember? Yeah, he put 1,000 yards on the board with Matt Ryan, the ghost of Matt Ryan, in 21.
I'm kind of intrigued by Kyle Pitts, to be honest with you. I wouldn't, depending on what they're looking for a draft pick.
Yeah, and Vaughn points out Kyle Pitts is nice. Yeah, I totally get it, Vaughn. But Kyle Pitts, the reason he's so low is because he just hasn't produced on the field. I mean, he's played the full season the last 2 seasons, and he's Pat. He's catching 50 balls for, well, actually, I take that back because he gets targeted a hell of a lot more than Pat, and he doesn't have Pat's conversion rate.
Yeah, but
he is fast. He could play that slot.
What would you give up for him then?
I'd give up
fourth.
Oh,
they want a third.
I'd go fifth.
I'd give a fourth. No, you're not getting him.
I'd give Connor Hayward and a fifth.
Connor Hayward in a fifth.
I'd rather have Connor Hayward.
Vaughn wants to know if he can block. So does Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith.
No.
So they.
Did you guys see Connor Hayward gained weight to be a fullback?
Did he?
Yeah.
It's
from 230 pounds playing tight end. When he like 230 last year?
He's 240 now. I think he said he got up to. Is that what I read? Something like 240 pounds to be the fullback.
So
maybe that's a spot for him because he sure as hell can't play tight end.
He was was a decent fullback in college, but let's face it. 5'1" Calvin Austin, 5'4" Roman Wilson,
the chisel god,
chisel god. Don't forget that.
Okay.
And don't forget Connor Hayward in there, the shortest tight end in the NFL since the 1950s. What the hell are we doing? We would be a great Pop Warner team. I'm telling you right now.
Mike Tomlin football, baby.
Connor Hayward was never really drafted to be a starter. He was drafted as a favor to his brother and maybe become a special teamer. Yeah. And they kind of ended up shoehorning him in the offense because they didn't know better, I guess. I don't know. But
Relic, I don't hate Calvin Austin. As a matter of fact, I think as a slot, he's gonna fill that Randall Cobb role, and they're finally gonna use him the right way, or Aaron Rodgers is gonna force them to use him the right way, which is on crossing routes. Introduce it to the fucking offense and hit the guy who's faster than everybody else on the field on the run and see what happens.
I'll believe a crossing route when I actually see it in a real game, not a preseason game, a real game.
Yeah.
Then I'll get excited about that. Even with Aaron Rodgers as quarterback, he's going to have to hold a gun to Mike Tomlin's head.
But it doesn't change the fact that he's 4'3". When I say with our receivers are the lollipop killed,
Bob keeps getting shorter and shorter.
I know. Pretty soon he's going to be like 2'2". Listen,
I just missed out on being on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Calvin Austin is now so short in Bob's eyes that the bottom of the chest plate on the shoulder pad attaches to the pants.
You guys ever seen a picture of him standing next to Darnell Washington a couple years ago?
It's ridiculous. he was never drafted to be he was a gimmick guy. They drafted him because he was the fastest guy, one of the fastest guys in the draft. And they figured, well, maybe we can find him 6-7 plays. And then they stopped drafting wide receivers after Colbert retired, and now he's become a primary wide receiver because there's nobody left.
I do think if somebody would ever use him right, I do think he has a role, and I think he could be a great slot receiver. But
great.
Yeah,
he could be an okay slot receiver.
I think in the slot, his speed, that would be a problem for opposing teams. I do.
Yeah, because on a nickel corner, there's not many guys. It's hard to press a slot receiver, and there's not many guys who can run with him. So I think if you get him on that crossing, I mean, unless you're playing a zone where he runs into the zone and gets his head taken off, but if you're matched up man with him on a crossing route, I think that's 25 yards of pop waiting to happen.
But this is the Steelers. What are they going to ask their slot receiver to do first and foremost?
Block.
And he can't block anybody. So
he does try.
Oh, I don't doubt his effort there, but again, when you're 4'6", trying to block a linebacker, getting killed, I don't know.
That's 4'6" in heels, buddy.
If he was on the 49ers or the Vikings, and then I'd say maybe
Could you imagine him in the middle of the field with Addison and Justin Jefferson and TJ Hawkinson, and you hit him on a little crossing route in a cleared out space? Oh my gosh. Because we've already seen there are times when he shows it as a dynamic punt return.
All right, let's get into our. Go ahead, Trent. Go.
I was just going to say. I mean, he definitely hits big routes out of the slot a lot of times. I mean, we've seen a lot of the Russell Wilson deep touchdowns to the middle of the field was Calvin Austin.
Yeah,
the jet sweep.
All right.
Okay, I've replaced Dave.
Well, hates Calvin Austin. I could be accused of hating Calvin Austin too. To be honest, I was not a fan. After
yeah, you were a hater. Actually. You were a hater. I remember.
At first, we were all excited. Remember in the draft, we got 2 wide receivers that year.
Yeah,
right. It was Pickens and him. We were all excited. This was going to be great. And then we didn't know who Matt Canada was at the time, though.
Yeah.
So we learned fast. All right, let's get into the camp battles. Training camp's only a couple weeks away or so. There should be some interesting camp battles. Let's start with slot corner. I don't know if you could call this a battle or maybe a battle of attrition. There's not much going on here. It's Beanie Bishop. It's Brandon Eccles, I guess.
And Dante Kent,
who I'm going to kind of root for. I'm not a Dante Kent hater.
I think you got to put Corey Trice in the mix too.
And don't we think Sebastian Castro?
Sebastian Castro.
Yeah, there you go.
I think that's his best fit.
It's going to be interesting.
I've heard that from a lot of people. We'll see. I'm waiting to see if that actually materializes. Try to say that or not. If he gets any slot work, or if they just leave him back in safety. It's Beanie's job to lose, though, right? I mean,
technically, yes.
Yeah.
I don't look. I didn't have a problem with the Pitt thing, but I think that's gonna weigh on them. Him being an undrafted free agent, they can get out of him early. I also think I'm not kidding about Corey Trice. I think it's an intriguing idea to see if a guy who's that big could be your slot corner, because if so, he is a guy who could maybe press some of those guys.
Yeah.
Good luck for those little undersized size wide receivers getting off of Corey Trice. Even if he holds them up for a little bit on the crossing route and takes that away, TJ doesn't need much to get home.
If it's me, Bob, I want Corey Trice as far away from the line of scrimmage as you can get him. So
he's not getting hurt.
Yeah. I don't want him with offensive linemen falling at his knees or tight ends trying to knock him back or
You gotta kind of shit or get off the pot with him though, because this is it. I mean, it's a contract year.
I mean, at this point, if you're that worried, just have him go play flag football or something.
I mean, they're doing the same thing with Darnell Washington on the other side. They're being very careful with him too. So, I mean, just let him play outside corner where it's relatively safe. I get your whole premise though. He's a big slot corner. He would be interesting, but I don't know.
Yeah, big pun. I'm with him. I think Kent's just a special teams guy. I'm not that impressed with Eccles, to be honest. Sebastian Castro is the one that's intriguing to me. Him
Eccles
like what Bob's saying with Trice. Those two, I think, are the biggest threats to Bishop.
What's it say about our evaluation of corners, though, honestly? If Beanie Bishop, who I think played pretty well last year, and I think he could play pretty well again this year, but if it's Castro, that's 2 years in a row an undrafted free agent makes the team as the number 3 corner. I mean, come on. That's
This is why when they say, Jair Alexander's available as a free agent, and the people tell me, well, there's no place for him. I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah,
just grab talent, because this team never has talent at corner. Never. So just
Can I
Can
I be perfectly honest with you guys?
Go ahead.
I freaking love Beanie Bishop. I was super high on him last year. I wanted him to start all season. I thought you saw a lot of progression as the season went on. There was a lot of progression happening with Beanie Bishop. I thought he was playing a lot better in coverage. I thought he was playing decent against the run. He wasn't blowing as many assignments. And then they pull and put in Sutton, and basically he doesn't get any playing time from there on out. I didn't like that move. I thought they should have stuck with Beanie Bishop last year. I think there's something there with that kid. He's not built to play on the outside, but I do think there's something there with that kid.
Well, there is always something with WU players, Trent. So I don't disagree with you at all.
Didn't we talk about their being irrelevant last week? Didn't we close the door on West Virginia?
No, you said that, Mr. Massachusetts guy. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Beanie, and I think Trent's right. He was showing progression, and then Mike Tomlin. This should have been a fireable offense.
He was determined to
benches him for Cam Sutton.
He was determined to. I don't know why.
Yeah. And that was when it really went downhill on defense, honestly.
That was so strange because he had gone through such an off-field disaster. I was surprised the Steelers would even touch him. When I saw it first tweeted out that they were interested in him, I thought it was bullshit. I thought it was a lie. I couldn't believe that he was even going to play in 2024, let alone for the Steelers. And then they sign him. They're so patient. They wait 8 games for the suspension. They stick with him. I mean, people like Minka were indirectly calling him out on the defense, and they were sticking with him. That whole thing was just strange.
It was strange.
Yeah.
Very weird.
This is another reason why we would have loved Aaron Rodgers last year, because he would have been like, hey, can we cut that guy? He don't know what the fuck he's doing.
I mean, what was one thing you guys thought that Beanie lacked, though? That why they're looking for another? I mean, is it the tackling? Is that the big thing?
I think that was a little bit of it.
The coverage skill was rough in the beginning, but got better as time went on, I believe.
He's a real small guy, too, right? He's not.
He's very
small.
Yeah.
He was undrafted for a reason. He's a 5'9", not exactly speedy cornerback. But you can't deny the guy's got a nose for the football.
Good hands. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And there is something there. Like, I think if he was our 4th cornerback, I wouldn't hate that. But if he's our nickel, I don't know. I would say the same. And I love Sebastian Castro. I thought he should have been drafted in the 4th or 5th round. But if he's our slot corner, he's a fucking safety. I'm not exactly excited about that either. So, I'm with Dave. Sign Jair Alexander. For me, I mean, I would honestly, Stephon Gilmore, hey, come to Pittsburgh, please. Although
I'd be more.
I wouldn't care. I mean, I just put him out there and say make plays. All
right, from slot corner to slot receiver. There's multiple candidates for a slot corner. We got the market cornered on slot receivers. I guess the question is, who's wide receiver 2 on the outside? Then you can kind of, is it because Robert Woods, Calvin Austin, and
Roman Wilson.
Roman Wilson, thank you. They're all slot receivers. So
yeah.
Tell me who wide receiver 2 is, then I might be able to narrow down who the slot receiver is.
Well, the depth chart here shows it's Metcalf. Number 2 is Woods. Number 3 is Austin.
Yeah.
So my money's on Lance McCutcheon. I think he's going to just absolutely show up and ball out. Yeah. Absolutely.
Listen, if Robert Woods wins wide receiver 2 this year, you've gone from Allen fucking Robinson to
Van
Jefferson to fucking Robert Woods, and that's fireable. That's a fireable offense if you're the general manager. I know you guys all love Omar Khan.
That's twice now.
Listen to those 3 names again: Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, and Robert Woods.
That's twice we've said it's a fireable offense.
Hey,
Holy shit!
On the podcast,
Woods is an improvement. I think he's the best of those 3, but it's not going to be.
We talk about low lives a lot in this podcast,
right? It's not going to be Robert Woods as wide receiver 2. It's not. It's going to be Allen Lazard or somebody.
All right, put him in the mix then. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure that's enough.
Not with Aaron. With Aaron, he's a viable wide receiver 2. He's already shown that. When he plays with Rodgers, he has good years.
I'm gonna crash. Somebody said I'm gonna crash out. We start talking about wide receiver, it just gets me so aggravated. Oh. I can't do it. Anyway,
I really think they want Roman Wilson to be the wide receiver 2.
Yeah,
I think that's the most likely. Either Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson.
That is the rumor.
I think they want Robert Woods in the slot.
Yeah, that's why Cavalli made the big comment about him being so jacked. I mean, so you can block somebody as a wide receiver 2.
I think they want Robert Woods in the slot. That's my guess right now. And then I think they want Calvin Austin outside.
I'd be surprised if Robert Woods does anything more than Scotty Miller last year.
Yeah.
There's another one.
Rock Taylor.
Who's still here?
Shocker.
Rock
Taylor. I mean, I'm willing to give him a chance.
He'll do more than Scotty Miller, but because Woods at least had his day as an effective top flight wide receiver. He's long in the tooth. He's a couple years removed from it, but with a quarterback like Rodgers, he could maybe recapture some of that. He'll be wide receiver 2. First of all, the Steelers don't put out a depth chart until preseason, so any depth chart is made up. It's just people guessing.
And even when you do, Mike Tomlin hates depth charts, so he spends 0 time on it.
Yeah, the one I'm going off of is ESPN's, so that's probably their projection is what it is.
Right.
Relic's got a question for the panel. Who do you want to be wide receiver 2 realistically? And he says, I can't have Tyreek Hill. I don't know if there is. It's so late on.
What's your options at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to bring it back to free agency, the start of free agency. What were your options to begin with? Because I heard Pony going off on this today. Oh, if he'd only signed 2 months ago, we could have got a wide receiver. Who the fuck could you have gotten free agency?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I blocked it out. I don't know who the wide receivers were.
The best.
It was basically Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
he was the best receiver.
Godwin.
Yeah.
You were never getting Chris Godwin. Chris Godwin was not leaving Tampa.
Big pun.
Jameson Williams can be had for a third.
I don't know if that's true.
If true, now that I'd pounce. If that's true,
yeah, I don't think they're giving up for third.
But
I think they're looking for a second minimum.
They got championship aspirations here. Like they're not.
Yeah, I don't know if they want.
They're not moving off anyone.
Yeah.
They did draft a wide receiver they like a lot.
Bob, a fifth. That's all you would give for him.
Yeah, I mean
the same as Kyle Pitts.
A fifth.
Wait. Yeah. The same as you'd give up for Kyle Pitts.
Yes.
Are we in an altered dimension here? Am I missing something? Like, what the hell's going on?
He's trying to provoke me again.
Because number one, he's going to get suspended when he bets that somebody.
Here we go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Somebody said Gunnar Olszewski. Vaughn, I'm going to ban you from the podcast.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, my God. That brings up bad memories.
Big pun. Cooper Kupp was available.
Yeah, Cooper Kupp was another one. Although
he's slow. He's so slow.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus Christ. You might as well sign Kyle Pitts. They run the same fucking 40 time.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact, what is Cooper Kupp? He's a slot fucking receiver.
He plays outside, so we looked that up. His snaps are pretty equal at both the slot and outside.
I'm fine with Keenan Allen right now. As of right now, Keenan Allen is fine.
I mean, I guess.
I'd trade a fifth for Adam Thielen if Carolina would do it.
Well, wait, though. Keenan Allen was a slot guy, though, isn't he?
He was a slot guy.
Oh,
It's
motherfuck. Everybody's a goddamn
Cooper.
slot guy.
But it's Amari Cooper is the only
Amari
outside
Cooper.
guy available.
Yeah.
That's
But
really available.
There was a lot of different stats to show that he's went really downhill.
He couldn't do it in
That's the only
Buffalo with
problem.
Josh Allen.
So
I mean,
I don't know. It's a shit show. It really is just a shit show when it comes to free agency wide receivers.
There's going to be a look. Green Bay is going to come to their senses. They can't keep 98 wide receivers on the roster. They're going to trade one of them. So, but you have to be very patient.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to go on throughout training camp. It's right to the last minute, I think, before they if they pull a trigger on another wide receiver.
Sound familiar?
Yes, and they didn't last year. They didn't pull a trigger.
That's why they're not going to be in on the McLaurin thing. That's McLaurin is Ayuk part 2. I mean, we all know.
Yeah. Would you Would you consider Ayuk at all at his contract? And you'd have to give up something. I don't know. I can't even. I'm thinking a third because he makes so much money and he's injured.
If they were doing the Jared Goff deal where they threw in a first on top of Ayuk to us, then yeah, sure.
Just stop. And no, put that off of there.
You think about it. I mean, Detroit got it. I mean,
he's gone into hiding after the Aaron Rodgers signing. Who are you kidding?
Yeah. I mean, you think about it. Jared Goff. I mean, no matter what you think of him, he's a top 12-ish type quarterback in the NFL. The Lions got a first-round pick for taking him and gave up Matthew Stafford. Yeah, you're telling me we could do that with Ayuk? No problem.
Depending on the compensation, I don't want. I'm giving them one offer, and if they're going to try to play around like they did last year, I'm walking away. We're not playing that game again. But if they're willing to take a third for Ayuk, sorry, with Rodgers and DK, you might be cooking.
Yeah,
again, I heard too that they don't even know when he's going to be able to play. They're thinking it could be as late as week 8, week 9 before Ayuk gets on the field. So you got to keep that in mind too.
Dude, there's no fucking way.
No, it's tough.
Like, look, after what they did last year.
Yeah, I know. I agree with you, Dave.
No,
I kind of agree with you.
Go for one of those Green Bay wide receivers. I like those guys.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, there's probably somebody who's going to show up at camp, be unhappy with his contract, he's going to bitch, and now all of a sudden they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe you're not worth it, and somebody goes, okay, we'll step in, we'll toss you a third or a fourth. You got a third to burn because having 3, I just can't, because if you're thinking you're going to package a third and a first to move up in the first round, that ain't going to happen. You want to move up into the top 15 for one of those quarterbacks next year, it's going to take this year's first and next year's first.
Vaughn brings up the Texans, but one of their receivers is out for maybe permanently, right? The kid that got hurt last year.
Yeah.
He's out for at least this year, and they say it's bad. It's a pretty bad injury. So,
Just to touch on the Ayuk thing, contract-wise, he's really basically only under contract for 25 and 26, even though it's structured out through 29.
Yeah, because it's like phony money to spread out the cap, the signing bonus.
Yeah,
right? So,
because if he gets cut in 27, they save $33 million. So it's really basically he's under guaranteed money for the next years.
It's the injury that scares me. It was a pretty bad injury.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you knew more about the injury, like, I would trade for the player.
Yeah.
Even though the thing got real messy last year between us and San Francisco, but if you're calling, you could just say, hey, listen, this is a take it or leave it deal. Yeah. You want to get rid of this 100%. Guy? Here's how we take him off your hands.
I wouldn't even call them. I'd make them call you.
You can't make them call you. They might not,
Well, then if they're serious. Look, if they because Steelers called and obviously called and called like that stalking ex-girlfriend last year.
Yeah.
And we got you on the hook. We can do whatever we want. Now they turn around and call you right off the bat, say, okay, you want to trade him? This is the offer, yes or no, right now. Announce it now. You want it? Do it. And if they say no, don't ever fucking call us back.
If they do get a wide receiver, then you're looking at Woods and Skoranek battling out for the last wide receiver spot. if you think Austin and Roman Wilson are going to have good camps,
Well, they could end up keeping
that would be
six
kind
in
of
that.
interesting.
They could end up keeping 6 in that scenario because
I would think
special teams.
I would think they would keep 6 because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And don't forget about Brandon Johnson. That's another wide receiver we've got that. I'm joking, by the way.
I was going to say.
You guys, I don't even think you know what the fuck I'm
I had
talking
already
about.
forgot.
He's like 9th on
Practice.
the depth chart here.
Yeah.
Practice squad.
Yeah.
Practice squad at best. All right. Running back 1. We talked about that a little bit. I got a feeling Caleb Johnson wins this thing early.
You guys think so
Early.
right off the bat? Now?
I think it's a possibility. They're
I'm
already
all
talking
in.
glowingly about him. Yeah.
Unless Jalen fumbles the ball, I can't.
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
It'll be. That being said, I've said all along, I think it's 60-40, 55-45, somewhere in there. And by the end of the first month of the season, I see it flipping because I think Johnson will be impressive on the field. But let's not forget, Jalen Warren is really good. So unless he fumbles the ball, I think it's going to be a lot harder to get him out of that one spot.
Well, think about
He's-
the Najee and Warren thing. It was clear that Warren was the more dynamic player,
Yeah.
and they still didn't give him the ball more. So that's why I just don't buy it. I think it'll be Warren mostly, and then maybe running back by committee towards the middle of the season. I mean, I think Caleb Johnson would have to look significantly better for them to do that.
I think you're looking at 10 to 12 carries for Caleb in the first month. Each
Ooh,
game.
I think he's going to get more than that, guys. I think he's going to. I think they think of Warren as a running back too, a third down guy. I think that's the way they look at him, and they look at Caleb Johnson as the big ball carrier that they're looking for.
He's a bell cow.
He
Yeah.
should, yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he isn't. Like, I just know how they are, guys. They don't fucking do like you should. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, you just said it. They
think-
should have started Warren all last year, and they didn't.
Yeah. I think this kid is just tailor made for Arthur Smith's run game.
Yeah.
And
It's almost too good.
he is going to look. I mean, listen, he faced the most stacked 8-man boxes in college all last year. I think it was something like 58% of the time he saw an 8-man front and averaged 6.4 yards a carry. Ashton
That's
Genty was the next closest at 39% against
that's
8-man boxes.
ridiculous. Ridiculous.
I mean, this kid, I think this kid is an absolute stud. He could compete for Rookie of the Year if they handle him right.
Yep,
It's
I
not.
agree.
It's not that I don't think he's good. It's that, and I think David's making this point too. It's the Steelers who don't just turn it. They didn't turn it over to Joey Porter. They turned it over to Najee because they had to.
Yeah.
He was competing with Anthony McFarland. I think they're going to give Jalen a month to prove it. And what I mean by that is I think Caleb will get 10 to 12 carries. I think Jalen will get 15 at the most. So they'll run the ball 25 times. And if all of a sudden at the end of the first month, Caleb's averaging 4.5 yards a carry, even if Jalen's averaging 5, I think it'll start to switch because he's, like you said, he's more the bell cow running back, and it'll start to move over. I think gradually, by halfway through the season, Caleb will be the number 1 running back. And I don't necessarily think that means because Jalen played bad. I just think, like Trent says, he may be that good.
All right,
Yeah.
let's go on record. Who gets the first carry of the season? Warren or Caleb? I say Caleb Johnson gets the first carry.
I'm with you.
I say Aaron Rodgers on a quarterback sneak because it'll be second and inches.
We're scrambling for his life on a play
No.
action in the first play of the game.
Second and inches, Aaron Rodgers will get sneaked for a first down.
Amber says Warren too.
Connor Hayward, fullback toss.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Fullback toss.
Oh,
Calvin Austin on the jet sweep.
Somebody said CPAT in the chat.
There you go.
CPAT.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, what about? Hey, we're forgetting, in all honesty, about Kenneth Gainwell, who's really, really good.
Yeah, he's a third down back though. You're not going to see him, I don't think. On early
I
downs.
think Warren gets first carry.
Okay.
It's
That's how Curtin's going.
I know. Look, I get you guys are on. I am too, but just the Steelers are the Steelers. So
Yeah, I'm
All right.
definitely couching
Good, bud.
I'm definitely couching that Johnson will be by the end of the year. I just think early in the year they're gonna
that's
give
possible,
Warren
sure.
a nod and just say, "Hey, man, thanks for the service. You're the back for the first quarter."
All right, inside linebacker opposite Patrick Queen. I think this is going to be a little bit more competitive than people think. I mean, a lot of people just penciling in Peyton Wilson here. We'll see what Cole Holcomb does, and then Malik Harrison is a veteran guy that they might just want to,
They reworked the Holcomb deal though, so I think it's clearly Peyton Wilson's job now, unless he shits the bed in training camp.
they're going to take it easy with Cole Holcomb. They're not going to.
Yeah.
There's no way he's going to be the starter, in my opinion. There's no way. They'll baby it too with him. Unless he goes out there off the rip and looks good to go.
Yeah, right now they say he's good to go. We'll see when the pads come on.
Well, I mean, I guess in preseason, if he looks legit, maybe.
I mean, he knows the defense. He's a veteran.
Holcomb's a good player. It's just I was listening. I think it was Caboli or maybe it was Fittipaldo saying that Wilson's put on just a teeny bit of weight. He looks a little more solid this year. He bulked up to try to stop the run. Look, if Wilson can stop the run, there's no question he's the best pass coverage linebacker on the team.
Yeah, I agree there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like I thought as soon as the contract was reworked, that tells you that Holcomb's not a starter. So, I mean, they're not paying him like a starter. They're paying him like a backup. He feels like he's a backup in this. And to be perfectly honest with you, he really wasn't playing that well when he got hurt. He was starting to play better, but he wasn't having this like great season by any stretch. He was terrible in coverage most of the season. And then the 2 games prior to him getting hurt, he was starting to play a lot better. So, but before that, he was really struggling. Which that happens in this defense. The middle linebacker role it's asked a lot of these guys, so it's understandable. But I think Peyton Wilson's the starter,
and he was clearly the number 1 linebacker in the country when he came out 2 years ago. It's that injury that threw everybody off. That's the only reason he went so late. So if he's healthy, even if it's for the next 5 years, and that's all we get out of him. The guy is a supremely talented player. We saw that with the interception, that highlight interception. He's supremely talented.
He's another one of those guys. If he stays healthy, yeah, it's him, Corey Trice. If these guys stay healthy, you got a hell of a players.
Well, I wouldn't put Peyton Wilson in the Corey Trice category. He did play all the games last year.
Yeah, true. But isn't he playing with no cartilage in his knees or something like that?
Yeah. He's bone on one of his knees.
So we'll see. I mean, I'm rooting for Peyton Wilson because if he's playing well, that's a big boon for the defense. He's so athletic and he's so fast. That's a huge boon. What?
I was going to ask you guys a question. Is there a scenario where Patrick Queen is the odd man out?
No,
I don't think so. They paid him too much money.
Yeah, guaranteed money they paid for him. I think it's like 39 million guaranteed or something like that.
Yeah.
Holcomb was playing really well before he got hurt. If he plays at that level,
thinking Holcomb and Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson took a step forward, I could maybe see, hey, Patrick, thanks for the service, buddy. Hit the bricks.
At the end, maybe as the season goes on, if he struggles, maybe, but not right off the bat.
You're saying before the season even starts, though, aren't you?
No, I would say Queen he'll get, but I'm just saying if Holcomb looks really good. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it. I wouldn't do it personally because Holcomb is such a risk. I mean, he's been injured, every year in his career almost. I mean, I think he's played 1 full season out of 5. I wouldn't do it. But if you're paying that much money and he's okay, he's no better than my other 2 guys, why am I going to continue to pay him that kind of money?
He's an easy out for his contract next year, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, what about
John?
Interior defensive linemen when they're not in base, when they're in their 2 defensive linemen pass rushing thing? Is it going to be Derek Harmon, Keanu Benton? Are they going to rotate? probably rotate and get Cam Hayward off as much as
It's going
possible.
to be a
right? Give him
rotation.
some
I think
rest.
it's going to. Yes, I think it's going to be a rotation.
Yeah, I think that's why they're drafting so many guys on the defensive line. Is they want to do more of a rotation like Philadelphia does, more so than what we did last year.
Yeah.
I think Derek Harmon might end up out snapping Keanu Benton though.
Interesting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they love that kid.
Yeah.
Okay, look, the reason we sucked against the run for the second half of last season is because we played 2 interior linemen and TJ and Alex. I love TJ and Alex, maybe the best bookends in the league. But you can't play a soft-ass Tampa 2 with those 2 as your defensive end and expect to stop anybody. Here's an idea. Play all 3 of them. Cam Hayward, Keanu Benton, and Derek Harmon all at the same time, and then figure out TJ and Alex. Do a 5-man type of front in that, and maybe all of a sudden you can stop the run. You could still play nickel with a 5-man front, but this whole, hey, we're going to have 2 out there and have those other 2. The 4-man pass rush don't work. If you're going to play that formation, you better start blitzing off of the slot, because otherwise you're not going to get pressure. They've shown offensive lines figured out, hey, if we put 3 guys on TJ, he can't get home.
Why the hell did they have that in place for the Baltimore game? It just hit me.
Yeah. That's the way they were. That's the.
And they had.
Go ahead. Okay.
I was just going to say, and the worst part about that was they had TJ and Alex running straight to Lamar Jackson. So they were bypassing Derrick Henry the entire time anyway.
Literally.
Like, what the hell are we doing?
Fucking insane.
A 250-pound back, you're worried about the damn quarterback first. Like
TJ had 3 sacks that didn't count. He tackled Lamar Jackson and didn't even have the ball like 3 times. Like, Trent's right. Like, it was.
The thing about Mike Tomlin recently, the last few years, is he wants as many people in coverage as possible. That's why he developed this 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebacker pass rush, because that leaves 7 guys in coverage. And that's what he wants. He wants a minimum of 7.
But
so
I'm with Bob here. Like, dude, yeah.
They don't blitz. They want those 7 guys in coverage, and they're just hoping that TJ gets home. That's Mike Tomlin's defensive strategy in a nutshell. Put everybody back in coverage and pray TJ gets home.
Yeah, it is.
TJ, Cam, and Highsmith. Pray they get home.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That's his big defensive strategy.
We hope for cover stacks with some of the worst corners in the goddamn league.
Yeah, and that
makes sense.
And that.
You know what I would really like to see?
Leave Minka in the next stadium over.
Yeah.
You know,
10 yards off the ball.
Yeah.
Look, if you did it with a 5-man front and still drop 6, okay, what I would really love to see is you put Cam in between the guard and tackle, you put Harmon in between the guard and tackle, you have Benton line up over the nose. You put Herbig and TJ. I love Alex, but you put Herbig out there next to Cam and TJ on the other side, because you're going to more than likely have to double team Cam. Or if you're not double teaming Cam is going to get home, assuming he still has another year left in him. But what you really got is Nick Herbig flying off the edge, fastest guy off the edge. And then on other downs, let's see Alex and Jack Sawyer, what they can do, because that's more your power package. So I'd like to see them vary it up a little bit on passing.
I agree with that. I've argued that for years, that they always pull Alex and TJ off the field at the same time. It never made sense to me.
Yeah, it's stupid.
That's 9 too.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah, having a straight rotation of 2 on, 2 off is just mind-boggling.
And Highsmith has actually, this camp, complained that they should have moved TJ around more. Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah, I don't.
He said he wants to move around.
Yeah, he said they needed. Yeah, I was just like,
I'd be curious if TJ wants to move around, though. I think TJ likes to be on his side.
He said he does now, but I think he realized teams have figured out. TJ only lines up on this side. Let's just put 5 guys over there and see what happens.
Because his move is dipping that shoulder on that side and getting underneath the tack. That's his move. If he goes to the other side, I don't know if he's.
It don't matter. It'll throw the offense off, and that's all we need. And then that can allow other guys to get home.
Yeah,
like that's the thing.
I think you're better off leaving him where he is and blitzing in that gap.
That's what I will do.
and force them to make a decision.
And I would blitz at the guard, not outside of him. I would come
inside.
straight through the guard.
Inside, yes.
And that eliminates the double team, and they can try to chip. But I mean, Patrick Queen, everybody forgets Patrick Queen is a phenomenal blitzer.
Blitzing. Yep.
That dude needs to be sent way more than he has been.
His grade is very high in blitzing. It is.
It's just like the Steelers to sign a free agent to top dollar.
Actually,
and not
so
use him as a strength.
So is Peyton Wilson.
Peyton Wilson is too.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I was, and I think blitzing Queen is a good idea. If I was going to blitz a lot, which I sorely wish they would do, but if I was going to blitz a lot, I would come off of Cam's side because Cam's going to occupy two guys. Now you got Herbig coming off the edge, and then you send a blitzer behind those two. He's going to free run. He's going to have a free run at the quarterback because if the tackle has to go with Herbig, the guard has Cam one-on-one, there's going to be a nice open spot there for somebody to, and Queen could run in there through the guard. Boy, I still think Peyton Wilson off the edge in that old Mike Hilton role would be dynamite. Yeah, good in coverage, but oh my gosh.
Yes.
Especially if you have Herbig and Peyton Wilson coming off that edge, who are you going to block?
No, it's.
Yeah, it won't matter though if they're playing soft zone 10 yards off and these guys are just, running quick slants and killing you, like knifing you up the middle. If you're going to blitz, you got to play man and try to, give them time to get home.
Look,
that's why I like the linebackers. Yeah. I'm sure he's thinking about it and never putting it in place.
Yeah.
We saw that all last year.
Mike Tomlin goes, no.
Yeah.
How no, we need no.
No, we need our 12th man on the field so he can play in coverage too.
Yeah.
Every time Bob mentions Herbig, Dave dies a little.
We need a T-shirt. Fastest man off the line of scrimmage. We need that. Whatever is 51 flying by like streaks.
Hall of Fame Herbig.
Yeah.
There it is.
Hall of Fame Herbig. Yes. I mean, I'd still rather have him than Jameson Williams.
You couldn't trade 3 Herbigs for Jameson Williams. They wouldn't take it.
Hey, so if we're having all this GM talk, maybe we should talk about our sponsor.
Yeah, Ultra GM. We're going to do our own private Steeler Sanctuary League and that if you guys are going to be interested. I am told it's up and running. The promo code's working, right, Bob? Is that what we were told today? Pretty much?
We were told that today, yes.
By Thursday, for absolutely sure, I would hold off till Thursday. And then I'm going to set up the league if you guys want to be in our private Steeler Sanctuary League, or if you just want to play overall as the Steelers, or you can do any team, right? You can do any team you want. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's really in depth. If you're really into football, I mean, he's got scoring for offensive linemen, right? He's got scoring.
He's got scoring for the punter.
The punter, you're going to draft your own team. You're going to sign your own free agents. You're going to make your own trades.
Like for me personally, I can't wait to start playing this. Like I'm a fantasy football fanatic. And for me, this is fantasy football meets franchise mode combined together. Like it's everything Zen for me to play this. So so if everybody out there is like me, you're going to want to fucking do this. It's going to be amazing. And we're going to do our own league. And I think we're even going to do like a podcast about it too. Yeah. Like this has got a chance to be so much fun, guys. And bragging rights. I can't even imagine all of us Steeler fans and one thing, who's doing the best, who's doing the worst, who's going to get shit on for how bad they suck at it. Stuff like that. It's going to be amazing. And so I really hope you guys go ahead and use the promo code, sign up, get in our league, or try the other version of leagues. One's 32 teams, and it's like you versus all the different teams, and then you got the one where it's versus all Steeler fans. Either way, it sounds awesome to me, and I personally can't wait to do it.
Well, that's kind of the best part is you compete in a 32-man league where you're the Steelers going up against all those other teams. But we also have the private Steelers league where your version of the Steelers in that 32-man league is competing against all of us in the Steeler league. And we're all managing the Steelers. So whoever can figure out how to win their 32-man, which, of course, we'll all win that. We'll all be 12-5. Except for, people who imitate.
Wait till you see the wide receiver group I'm cooking up for this thing. I can't wait.
I can tell you right now, I'm running my team like a combination of the Rams and the Saints. All my contracts are going way down the road. I'm signing fucking everybody. I'm not picking in the draft next year.
Yeah.
I'm having 0 draft picks. But I'm winning. I'm winning the damn Super
You're
Bowl.
winning. You're winning.
3 years I'm getting fired, but I'm winning at least one.
You're prying Patrick Mahomes out of Kansas City.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There you go.
What do you want for him? 14 first? Yeah, you can have him.
I like Bond's idea. I'll bring
Take
it back
it.
to run and shoot.
Absolutely.
Oh man.
Mm.
All right, so that should be a lot of fun. Do you guys see the picture of Aaron Rodgers and DK in the golf cart hugging? And boy, that could be something. Finally, we might see some real offense on this team.
I mean, you think about it. DK is, I mean, depending on how you feel about Russell Wilson, which I feel like he sucks and has for a long time. He played the first half of his career with the Russell Wilson on the downside, and then Geno Smith, who I like. It's a good story, but I mean, let's face it, Geno's a top 15 to 20 quarterback.
Mhm.
He's got a guy now who, if he's even a semblance of what he was, DK could have a big year.
Yeah, DK could have a very big year. I mean, he's going to be obviously the number one target easily.
Yeah.
In his passing game, unless Omar Khan gets off his ass and gets us a wide receiver too. But
I heard Randall Cobb is still available.
oh my god,
We do. I mean, they do have handicap parking there, so he probably can roll right in.
I'm still shook from the Allen Robinson, Van Jefferson, Robert Woods reality hitting me square in the face right in the middle of this podcast. I'm like, God damn it!
In all seriousness, what if Rodgers at his press conference tomorrow stands up and says, "I really want the team to bring back AB"? Like,
You know my feelings on this. I'm just going to sit out and watch it.
Dude.
I'd be in Florida with the contract in my hand right now, trying to find him, trying to hunt him down.
It is not happening.
No, I know it's not. It's not.
Visiting hours are between 8 and 4.
Probably get a hold of him on Twitter. Just photocopy the thing and throw it on X. And come sign it.
Call me crazy. I think it would work. I would absolutely sign in for it. I mean,
As much as I love him, I think it'd be a train wreck. Like I don't think he'd make it to week 1.
There it is.
No.
Fuck up. That's quiet.
Ultra
Good job,
GM, baby. Dave's first draft pick, Jackson Dart.
I might just keep Justin Fields and draft 3 wide receivers and sign 2 more, and I still got to think that over.
Which, to be honest, if you watched our the Draft Professor podcast I was a guest on last week, we talked about the Giants, and I did good. I held the Jackson Dart slander to a minimum. I just did like 8 minutes on it. So, I mean, look, you want to draft Jackson Dart, and the 2029 season might be looking really good for you.
In fact, we should make this a rule for Ultra GM. This league, Bob, you have to take Shedeur Sanders. Dave, you have to take freaking Jackson Dart.
Oh, hell no. I'm taking Matthew Golden.
What happens?
Yeah, I was thinking I'm going to take Matthew Golden in the first round too. You read my mind, Bob. You read my mind.
Yeah.
I don't think either one of us will get much points. I don't think either one of them is going to start.
True.
And then not till well into the season. So,
but then I'd beat you guys, so then that's fine.
Sounds like a fantastic move.
Yeah.
Yes.
Trent will be over here trading for, coaching Tom Brady out of retirement.
Yep.
We'll have Shedeur and Jackson Dart.
That's the thing, though, with fantasy sports. It's all about convincing others to make terrible moves.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I'm one of the worst defense in this competition because there might not be anybody left when I'm done trading. I'm having a fire sale on defense. TJ's gone. Cam's gone. I got 6 wide receivers and 4 running backs.
Something's changing soon. I mean, TJ and Cam aren't going to play forever. So if we're not going to,
we should talk about the TJ contract a little bit before we get out of here. It's still, this could get ugly. I got a feeling this could get ugly.
Maybe
a hold in at the very least. At the bare minimum, is going to be a hold in.
It'll be a hold in. That's
sounds like TJ's dug in somewhere. It's got to be like somewhere in that high 30s, right?
I think it's very rare that TJ shows any cards.
He's got his brother doing all the talking for him.
Yeah,
that's what's going on.
Yeah.
You know he doesn't like Myles Garrett because that's slipped a couple of times where, I'm sure he hates Micah Parsons. But that being said, I agree. I think TJ is going to come out of his mouth in training camp and say something like, "Hey, you want to pay DK fucking Metcalf? Okay, yeah, it's $42 million and not a penny less."
And it's possible. I mean, and he's right. I mean, you can't, you trade for a guy and you pay him top dollar. Well, you've got, Mr. All Pro on the bench there and you're squeezing him. It's not good. It's not good business.
I think they should give him his 40 and be done with it.
I'm at that point too.
He's going to get it. Like, he's going to get it one way or the other. And I went on a pretty epic rant, which is why I'm not going to take a lot of time on this one. But like, I went on a pretty epic rant the other night about TJ Watt contract. Like,
hey, fuck it, it's full send. Let's go.
He's been underpaid for a long time. Like, he is the best defensive fucking player in football. Give him his money.
Fine. Sorry to interrupt, Vaughn, but that's pretty funny, Vaughn. He's firing Mike Tomlin. I don't know if he can fire coaches, but I'm gonna have to ask Evan about that because that'd be my first move.
But I'm dying, dude.
Okay, now back to Trent
Anyways, Trent, go ahead. I'm sorry. I lost it. My bad.
That's awesome. No, I just think he's been the best defensive player in football for years. Like, fucking pay him the money. He's still playing at a high level. Just quit allowing the guy to get triple teamed every damn play. I mean, I'd pay him and get it over with. Like, don't let this thing drag on.
Yeah, we have to come to the realization they're not trading him. They're not moving on from him. So if you're not going to do that, just fucking pay him and get it over with. Move on. The guy's a legendary Steeler. I would personally probably not do it, and I'd probably seek a trade at this point, but maybe not, because now that they got Aaron Rodgers, you're probably all in for the season. So I take that back. I'm just paying him. I'm just paying him. It's just, you have to pay the money anyway. You get
3 years.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go devil's advocate. Let's fuck the market up like the Browns did. Let's give him 2 years, $100 million, all guaranteed.
Oh, Jesus.
Keep it at 2 years?
What?
No, I don't like
50 mil per Bob?
Yeah, let's fuck the market up. 2 years, but only 2 years. Look, you're going to pay him $100 million guaranteed anyway over 3. Make it over 2.
Well,
we're not paying a quarterback for the next.
Yeah, that cap hit's kind of tough, Bob. Then you got to. You can't even fit that on the cap this year. $50 million.
That math is wow.
Well, he's under contract this year, so it'd be the next 2 seasons after 26 and 27.
Yeah.
And you're not paying a quarterback. So if you're going to go that route and say we're all in, first of all, he'll sign it. He'll love it. It's $10 million more. We value you so much. And good luck, Trey Hendrickson, signing or Micah Parsons. You want to get paid that money?
Definitely be fucking the Bengals and the Cowboys. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because the Cowboys, I'd be giving Micah Parsons more than TJ's getting based on his age.
Yeah,
yikes.
True. Young, yeah.
Not to mention the fact
three chess over here.
Yeah, not to mention the fact you throw that out there. There's no hold in. Hey, TJ, 2 years, $100 million. He's signing that deal so fast it's not even funny.
I guess you could give him a signing bonus and take some of the money.
I was going to say, if you structure it the right way, then yes.
Yeah. I guess there's a way to do that. I don't know. I think it's a little extreme, but
signing bonus, roster bonus. You could just start.
If the Aaron thing doesn't work out,
bonuses.
And then Darius Slay, but you're gonna have to replace him next year, and now I don't know. You leave yourself in a hole in a $50 million outside linebacker.
You could draft
26, and then.
But you're going to have a quarterback on a rookie contract,
and
you're going to have money. You're going to have the money to do it. You could do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm kind of tongue in cheek, just playing around with it. But you really want to screw up the market? Because think about the free agents who hit next year.
But do you want to screw up the market though? What happens when Hall of Fame Herbig becomes free agent? You're going to pay him $60?
No, he's not going to command a TJ contract like that.
I'm joking.
But you really, Micah, who's he going to sign with? The Bosas, guys like that. When they come up for contracts, now you've screwed up the whole league. And you can build edge rushers. That's the one thing that we still haven't lost. I never believed the wide receiver thing. And up until TJ and Alex to a second extent, or some extent, we didn't sign guys to second contracts as edge rushers. You know, our great edge rushers, it was 3-4 years, boom, move on. We can get 2 more. We can get 2 more. And we always got 2.
Yeah. That was the old administration, though. That was Mr. Colbert. So we don't know if we can still do that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that even goes back to Donahue in the 90s
Yeah, it
when
does.
free agency
You're right.
first started.
You're right.
He ain't
Well,
signing
guys,
that.
Yeah, I'd love to offer him $30 million, but he ain't signing that deal.
No, he's not.
No chance in hell.
Yeah,
The people saying that read that goddamn Mark Madden article.
Yeah.
The same thing with the whole franchise tag him. He ain't fucking signing their franchise tag. Get out of here.
Well, and
The Steelers would never even offer it.
Mark Madden hates him, so he's gonna say some dumb shit like that.
Is there a reason
that's
why,
what
or is he just?
Might be personally, I think it's because he probably wanted Watt on a show, and Watt wouldn't do it. Because I noticed he only attacks those that never come on a show. Did you ever notice that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even listen to him, so I have no idea.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah. I mean, his overall point is kind of right. I mean, you don't want to get caught in long-term contracts with guys that had a down year and they're in their 30s. I mean, I get it. Cam Hayward made us look stupid, but Cam Hayward's a unicorn. It doesn't always work out like that. Most of the time, it just when it starts to go down, it goes down and keeps going down. So I get his overall point, but it's TJ fucking Watt, and you're all in for 25. So for 2025. So what are you dicking around for?
Yeah,
you just signed a 41-year-old quarterback and a 34-year-old corner, and what are we doing?
There's always some points that Mark Madden makes that I don't disagree with. It's just that he's always biased in his hatred for certain players. That's always negative, and it can't be that way. That's not how this works. So yeah.
All right. This comment right here, I'm sorry. If you do this to a guy like TJ Watt, who is a face of your franchise for a long time, this sets a very dangerous precedent for the rest of the players around the NFL. What free agent is ever going to want to fucking come play here? If you do this to one of your own, you're never going to sign a serious free agent again.
Yeah. You either trade him to a contender and do him a favor, or you sign him to a big contract. You don't dick him around and lowball him and try to get him to sign a lowball offer. You don't do that.
Yeah. There's no middle
business too. Yeah, that's bad business.
It does make business sense in Big Pun's defense, but bottom line is, look, I saw it firsthand at Jacksonville. There is a Jacksonville tax. And Tom Coughlin, when he came back for the second reign, and kind of in between, I mean, really since the first 5-6 years, there's been a Jacksonville tax because they've been so bad for so long. You can easily create a situation where you got to pay a Pittsburgh tax. You kind of already do with offensive players. Yeah. Now you're going to start screwing around your defensive players. Hey, if you're a defensive guy, you want to come here because you know you rule the roost.
All right, guys, we're going kind of long here. We should cut off here. We're already at an hour and 20 almost.
Hey, special episode tomorrow, right?
Yes, we got a special episode with I'm drawing a blank now. Tony Serino. My mind's gone. He's going to come on and talk about the Aaron Rodgers stuff. So if you're interested in that, come on. Tony's a great guest to have on. He's a lot of fun. Hit that like and subscribe button, guys. We're really on a roll here. We want to keep that ball rolling. Thanks, guys, in the chat. Awesome job as usual. A lot of funny stuff today. Am I missing anything else? Ultra GM. Don't forget about that.
Baby.
We're going to have Evan on Thursday again to explain it further so we can get into it. And I'll be starting that private Steelers Sanctuary League if you guys want to get on that. Message me on X. Until next time, thanks for listening to Steelers Sanctuary Podcast.
See ya.
But he's not weird or anything, is he?
No, he's totally normal.
I think you should be working at the snack bar.
You better relax, Bob.
I mean, normal for us.
All right, let's go.
Now you've had enough.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Okay, crazy guy. I'm gonna go home now.